It's time for dinner.
Ding dong, ding dong, ding dong.
From the creative mind of Scott Bertelson, after 4 decades of teaching our impressionable youth,
The dinner bell.
you are invited to enjoy conversational morsels for the mind at Mr. B's dinner party.
Yeah, dinner.
Well, hello. Hello. This is Mr. B of Mr. B's dinner party.
Mr. B's got a table so wide. Pull up a chair, let your worries slide. School days, tales, and a movie or two. He's serving up wisdom with a side of stew. Belly up to the table, my friend. The feast of thought will never end. From travels far to a spiritual climb, morsels of musing served in rhyme.
Yes, are you hungry? Oh, do I have an appetite. I have so much I want to share with you today. So I hope that you think it's worth your time to listen to my podcast while you're driving down the road or while you're washing the dishes or deciding to walk the dog because you've been putting that off, and whatever the reason would be. So hello, hello, hello. As Adele said, hello again, and welcome to Mr. B's dinner party.
For the next course, come one, come all. Nothing spoiled here. From comfort classics to what's hot now. Film reviews from Mr. B's Rewatchables.
For my rewatchables, I have more than one for a film. And, you know, I've covered a great amount of movies since I've been talking with you. And some are scary, and some are funny, and some are science fiction. And I thought, as I did last year, if you might remember, and if you don't, it doesn't matter, I talked about what my top choices were for 2024. So I'm only going to do half, and then I'll do, if I remember. That's always a struggle. I know, write it down, Scott. To talk about what I think, again, personal opinion, the top films of 2025 would be. Now, I will tell you that I have not necessarily seen all these, okay? So you might say to me, how do you know that that's such a great film? I'm basing this on lots of reviews that I've read or what other people have said, and I surely have every intention of seeing these films. With that being said, let's get started. Part 1 of my top films of 2025. The first one, not necessarily in any order, this is not a rank order, would be One Battle After Another. This has been touted as one of the most significant films of 2025. It was directed by Paul Anderson, the great renowned director, who also directed a great film that I might talk about sometime, Boogie Nights. And it stars Leonardo DiCaprio as a revolutionary, and it's very action-filled. It's about 3 hours in length. It's on HBO Max right now, and it's supposed to be just an absolutely full-throttle type movie. 3 hours, and everybody has told me this, and the reviewers have said this too, never lost the attention of the audience. It's action-packed. It's got a wonderful, wonderful story, which I'm not going to go great detail about because I don't really know the story. But I'm definitely putting on my list One Battle After Another. Then another film that I have not seen yet, it just, at the time of this recording, it's just come out. It's called Marty Supreme. And it stars Timothée Chalamet. And many critics say that he was nominated last year for Academy Award. One of the greatest performances as American table tennis player Marty Reisman and his life story. and is receiving accolades from all the critics. And so I'm guessing that Timothy, once again, will be nominated for Best Actor. So I would highly suggest that you go out to the theaters and see this film. Number 3, I don't know if I mentioned this before, but I got to tell you personally, one of my favorite films of 2025 was Sinners. Sinners. Directed by Ryan Coogler and starring Michael B. Jordan. It is unbelievably entertaining. It is a mixture of so many genres coming together and being done beautifully. It is a great period piece. It's a very, it's a love story, and it's a vampire story. And it's also a story of blues music in the Black American South. All those things. And they're all blended together beautifully. Jordan plays twins, Smoke and Stack, who have spent some time working for mobsters in Chicago, but they return home to Mississippi to open a juke joint, which is like a bar. And again, it's incredibly hot. But things get really bloody when unwanted visitors show up. And I'm telling you, I've seen it twice. I could watch it many, many times, and I probably will. It's fast-moving, it's scary, it's historic, it's filled with beautiful set pieces and beautiful costumes, and you learn so much about the Black culture in the early part of the 20th century. You've got to see it. It's on Prime Video, and it's also on Apple TV. The next one, how many have I covered? You know, I'm bad with math. Where's the calculator? I think I've done about 3 or 4. Next one is I have not seen. Sorry, I don't think it's even in theaters yet around here. That's Hamnet, Hamnet. And this is a story about William Shakespeare and his wife as they cope with the devastating loss of Shakespeare's son. And it's based on a novel. And how much of this is true, I do not know. But again, listening to my podcast critics, movie critics, that I do quite often, they overall say that it's very, very, very emotionally moving and very, very sad, and it's a tragedy. And then I believe in the story, Shakespeare then translates what's happening in his personal life into the development of the famous play Hamlet, which they do or they show in the film. So see Hamnet if you get a choice. That would be great. All right, I'm going to move on to the next one. And the next one is, again, another one that I've not seen, but I've read many great reviews. I've seen clips. And it stars one of my favorite new actresses. That would be Jennifer Lawrence. Yes, Jennifer Lawrence. And the movie is called, yes, I probably should tell you that, Die, My Love. And it's a very bleak film, yes, don't look for happiness here, about postpartum depression and psychosis for this leading character portrayed by Jennifer Lawrence. Ironically, Jennifer Lawrence, while she was filming, was pregnant with her second child. And I would definitely ask you to keep your eye open for her name for Best Actress Award for her performance. I've seen many clips of her spiraling into major depression and what happens because of that in this film. Again, keep in mind, this is an extreme example of postpartum depression, and it's meant to be portrayed as that. But it is something I definitely have to see. I believe that it is on Prime Video right now, which I do not have. But even though there's lots of a crowd of people who will be nominated, I'm sure, for Academy Awards, let's see if Jennifer Lawrence is selected, because she runs the gamut of emotions and plays this character like no other. I think she's one of our most gifted actresses today. And then the next one I'm going to mention is on Netflix, which seems like almost every home has. But it would be Frankenstein. And Guillermo del Toro, if I said that correctly, is one of my favorite directors. He directed The Shape of Water. He's directed many other films, but this is his major triumph that he has spent years on. He always wanted to redo the Frankenstein story. And, let's face it, folks, there's been, it seems like hundreds of films dealing with Frankenstein over the years. I'm not saying they're bad or good, but he always wanted to do his take on it. And I've seen it. I probably could watch it again. And it is so visually entertaining. The costumes, the sets, the scenery, the way they do the Frankenstein monster, which is a style of makeup I've never seen done before for the Frankenstein monster in any of the films that I've seen as the creature. Jacob Elordi is absolutely unbelievable in this role as a creature. You really see the humanity in this creature and how difficult it is for him and how sad that it just isn't going to work really well for him, because the odds are against the creature in this film, if you're at all familiar with the story. It's a story that speaks of hope and healing, even for the most outcast among us, which would be symbolized by the creature. So you could watch this on many different levels, philosophically, emotionally, many different themes. And Mia Goth is in it, and she is amazing, even though she's not in it for very much of the film. And just for the scope of this story, I really recommend you see Frankenstein on Netflix. Okay, here's another one I know I've mentioned, but I could not be true to myself if I did not recommend this film for 2025, and that would be Weapons, Zach Cregger's masterful horror film about a town in Pennsylvania where 17 children one night ran out of their homes at, I think it was 2:17. Julia Garner plays a school teacher who comes to school the next day, and all the students in her class are gone except for one boy. Also, Amy Madigan plays Aunt Gladys. Oh my goodness. The price of your ticket or to watch it on a streaming service is worth it just to watch her performance. I did not know the first time I saw Weapons that was Amy Madigan. And you may not be familiar with her. She was in Field of Dreams. She was in Uncle Buck. She's also been in smaller parts over the years. I hope that she is nominated for some kind of Academy Award. The portrayal of this evil Aunt Gladys is absolutely amazing. This is going to be a cult classic, I'm sure. The first film this guy directed was Barbarian, if you've ever seen that. And I really recommend that you see Weapons. And it's chilling, it's provocative, it's unpredictable as to where the story is going to go. And you're constantly wondering, why did these children all get out of their beds from this one particular classroom on this night and run down the street? And where did they go? Where did they go? Well, you do find out. But you've got to see it. And see it as fast as you can. And the next one, I'm just going to recommend it. I'm not going to do cartwheels over it. Not like I did the first one, but Wicked for Good, Part 2. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful film. Great singing, great visuals, great costuming. The story is okay. It's not as compelling, I feel, as the first one was. But that's just the story. But you find out more about Elphaba, and you find out more about Glenda and their interaction with each other and what happens. Now, if you're a true Wizard of Oz fan, dedicated to the original text and the 1939, or was it 37? Anyway, film, it takes some liberties at the end with Dorothy and the whole idea of where the Scarecrow came from. I'm not sure. What they did. Okay. I like the original idea. But anyway, I'm talking about the origins of the Tin Man and the Lion and the Scarecrow. Dorothy's in this. You never see her face, but she is in it. They change the story a little bit. They really make the wizard out to be a very evil person. And that's, I just have to say, that's not how I have felt about the wizard. I thought he was a bumbling idiot and just was in the wrong place at the right time and just took advantage of the situation. But anyway, I still would say see it. And it's in theaters right now. Just to watch Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande. They are just magnificent in these roles. Just magnificent. All right, I think I will probably cover one more, and then we will do some more if I remember, come back. I do want to mention once again the movie, my last one today, Companion. And I know I've talked about this. I saw it on a cruise ship, and I talked about the movies I saw on the cruise ship some time back. But this is a great story, which you can see now on HBO Max, of this guy who wants a girlfriend, but she's not human. She's a robot. But you don't know that for a while. And then the story really deals with how human can a robot be, and why would he choose a robot over a human. It has a really slow burn tension to it. It's very unsettling as to how human-like the robot is and what happens to the robot. You got to see it. Companion. It's a small film, but it's a tremendous film. And for all of these, you could go to YouTube and find clips, and maybe that would intrigue you to see the film. Okay. That's all I'm going to say about part one of the top films of 2025. They're all worthwhile, just as worthwhile as sitting down and reading a good book. But again, you might be sneering and saying, I don't think I agree with that. Okay. And you can let me know that too. I always welcome an email or a text. But this is my opinion. So next time I will be back with part 2. And what direction will that go? And will it include some of my favorite films that I saw this year in the theater, which I rarely go to the theater, but I've seen some really good ones.
Sit still. I said, I can't. Something's tickling me. She thought I was crazy. She said, well, open your coat. I unbuttoned my coat and opened it up. There was a mouse.
Stories. Everybody has them. The stories of our parents, grandparents, and our friends remind us who they are.
That's kind of what I think it is too, is memories. Growing up, my dad was an English teacher.
How they got here, and what they've learned on the way. What if you could collect as many of your loved ones' stories in a high-quality audio format to keep forever? What if you could share the sound of your loved one's voice, their laughter, and their thoughtful manner with your children, or when you are simply driving to work?
He spent literally 3 months in North Dakota freezing buckets of ice water to make this awesome ice fort that we never spent time in, but it was amazing. For the moment it was done.
Well, you can with a Sunnyside of Life biography. Produced here at Sunnyside Farm Studios. I'll sit down with your loved one for 1, 2, or several sessions to record their stories.
I think my students are going to have good memories of me.
You'll receive the full raw recording, an edited selection arranged in audio chapters for easy reference, and produced segments you can use for family gatherings, special moments, or any time you just want to hear your loved one's voice.
And those are probably my most cherished things.
Share it with your family and make it a keepsake, because that's what stories are. Keepsakes of the time we had together.
Never forget that. I was petrified of mice after that forever.
Email your query for more information to Troy at sunnysidefarmstudios.com. The email is also in this show's notes. Let me record your loved one's story so you can share the sunny side of their life in their own words for years to come.
I actually do kind of remember that now.
Folks, I haven't done a TV review for a while. Does that mean I watch television? Oh, yes. Do I watch too much? Oh, yes. But I have discovered a show in its 3rd season that is very entertaining. And I really do find that much of television I don't really enjoy. That doesn't mean I don't watch it. But there's one that I've recorded, and I always would say to myself, I'm going to actually watch an episode of that. And I finally did. And I have been so pleasantly surprised. The show is called Elsbeth, Elsbeth. And it's on CBS. And it's a police comedy drama.
And are you with the police?
I think so. I'm either with the police or watching the police.
I guess it's a spinoff of The Good Wife, which I did not watch, and The Good Fight, in which Carrie Preston originated the role of Elsbeth. And this I didn't know. So anyway, Carrie Preston is very, very good in this role.
Oh, this is my stop.
You know, this is not an Uber.
But you were heading up this way.
She plays this wacky person. Oh, do I mean wacky? Unconventional attorney who works as a detective with the police department. And she normally in every episode will solve a murder in her own quirky way.
Huh. So a person could come here, pay, and make a quick exit without being noticed, couldn't they? And get a receipt.
You
You have a devious mind.
I'm a lawyer.
That's funny. Me too.
It's really a show about how she puts all the clues together with the police department as to why this person is accused of murder. And they normally start, of course, each hour-long episode with the murder taking place. And sometimes you see the person who has done the crime. Most of the time you do, so you know who the murderer is. But then she has to, working with the police, find out, put all the clues together, and she does that in a really funny manner.
Did Laurel know the nickname?
Oh, yes. But she would never laugh because she's management.
Or maybe because you were all making fun of her husband.
Well, that's the sentimental version.
And Carrie Preston, who I really enjoy, she used to be on True Blood, that TV show about vampires on HBO years ago, really has the most unique outfits that she wears. Vibrant colors, mismatched outfits, boas, strange handbags. That's her calling card, is the way she dresses.
I think you should...
Oh my God, I didn't even remember I was wearing that.
And her sense of humor, which why they call it a comedy drama. Her character has been a successful attorney in Chicago, but now she's come to work alongside the New York Police Department.
Officer Blanc said that you wanted to experience the real New York.
We have to go ice skating.
No.
Oh, come on.
No, thank you.
Please?
No.
Okay.
And she is indelibly very good at what she does. And there's a number of guest stars that are on the show sometimes. Stephen Moyer was on it. Linda Lavin, who passed away. Let's see some other people. Daniel Davis, Nathan Lane, Vanessa Williams, Laurie Metcalf, who used to be on Roseanne, Eric McCormick, who was on Will and Grace, Matthew Broderick. So a great extensive list of people who have been on the show and made quite an impression. I like the wide variety of situations that she runs into, and every episode is so different from the previous one. And of course, it's a show that is nicely, everything comes together at the end, and it's very enjoyable. And I really suggest that you see Elsbeth. And if you want a twist on a whodunit or how they did it murder show, this would be the one. And you can also laugh at the same time because of her vibrant portrayal of this, needless to say, and I guess I already said it, but quirky, crazy character. One episode I saw recently dealt with a nun in a nunnery where she's very upset that a rich person has bought the property with the church and plans to evict all the nuns, and then the nun commits murder. And you wouldn't think that would happen, but it did. And you find out how she did it. It's very intriguing, very well written. So, I think it's on Thursday nights on CBS after Matlock, which again is one of my guilty pleasures. So, check out Elsbeth and beware of what she's wearing.
Motive. I have ideas, but no proof.
Oh, my happy film-loving friends. There's one movie that I haven't seen for a long, long time, but I've seen many times. And I can't tell you honestly that I'm a huge science fiction fan. I've seen some good ones, but aliens usually don't really interest me, except for this one film. And I believe that this director is coming out with another science fiction film this summer that I've seen advertised. But anyway, in 1977, oh, that was a good year. That's when I graduated. Holy moly. The great classic Close Encounters of the Third Kind came out. Close Encounters.
Everything's ready here on the dark side of the moon. Play the 5 tones.
And directed by the ever creative director, one of the greatest directors of our time, Steven Spielberg. And it starred Richard Dreyfuss, Melinda Dillon, Terry Garr. And Close Encounters of the Third Kind tells the story of Roy Neary, who's just your everyday blue-collar worker in Indiana, whose life, as you probably can guess, changes after an encounter with a UFO.
I recently had a close encounter with something very unusual. Who are you people?
Unidentified flying object. And it also deals with Jillian Geeler, a single mom whose 3-year-old son Barry is abducted during the same UFO invasion in this community. Steven Spielberg wanted to make this movie for a long time. And one of the reasons I truly enjoyed this film is that it portrays aliens as very friendly creatures. And I find that really gratifying. There was a movie called Fire in the Sky, which is a movie that came out a number of years ago about supposedly the true story of a man who is abducted and escapes from a UFO flying saucer ship. And they did these horrible experiments, and these aliens are constantly probing people, and it's just not good. It's nasty. It's just nasty. So anyway, none of that here. The aliens that you see for a short amount of time, at the end, you understand why they do what they're doing, why they came to Earth, why they took this young boy. I mean, the young boy's not hurt in any shape or form. The scene where they abduct the boy is beautifully done, very, very well done, very scary. But there's no reason for us to fear because all is well. All is well. What happens with the main character, Richard Dreyfuss, is that after he has this UFO encounter, he changes as a person, and people think he's crazy.
This is nuts.
Because he starts building replicas of this mountain.
Seeing the shape. Damn it, I know this. I know what this is. This means something.
That he keeps seeing in his mind, and his family, his wife, Terry Garr, and his children, they're just wondering what's going on with him. Why is he doing this? And anyway, what happens then is that this character portrayed by Richard Dreyfuss goes to Devil's Tower. And he finds out that's the mountain that he's been envisioning in his mind. And there he meets the creatures. This is where they're landing. And they have encounters with great official people from other countries, and they want to share things with us as humans. And there are a number of people then who, in addition to the Richard Dreyfuss character, have this calling that they go with these aliens for a certain amount of time to enjoy the planet or galaxy that they're from. But it's all good. It's welcoming. It's pleasurable.
They can fly rings around the moon, but we're years ahead of them on the highway.
It's just a feel-good film about life out there. If you've ever wondered, is there life on other planets? Well, this is the way I would like to see it if it were the case. And I'd like to meet these aliens, or I should say visitors from another planet. They are so friendly, and they're misunderstood. And of course, when the aliens come to this community, people are scared because we are frightened of what we don't understand. And that's understandable. So anyway, I would highly recommend that you see Close Encounters of the Third Kind. And you need to find out what happens to Roy. Does he go with them at the end? Does he stay? Does he stay with his family? What decision is he probably going to make? And for 1977, the special effects are outstanding. Oh my goodness, yes. The depiction of the aliens, how Steven Spielberg shows them, amazing. The flying saucers, so well executed. It's a very compelling story, and it's a story for all ages. It's very, very nonviolent. And again, my happy friends, Close Encounters of the Third Kind is a feel-good science fiction movie. It's not War of the Worlds, where Martians have come to take over the world. It is not a Predator-type film. It is a loving tribute to the belief that if we do have life on other planets, they are friendly. Do, 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 do. That's the code that's used in the film. So, friends, see one of the classic Steven Spielberg movies, Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
And now, School Days with Mr. B.
I haven't been down the road to school for quite some time. And I think it's time to revisit the whole idea of the importance of education. I've talked about so many different aspects of it from my viewpoint, being out of the classroom on a regular basis now for 6 years. Still enjoy going into the classroom subbing because I love being around young people of all ages. But let's face it, teaching is really a thankless job. And if you're going into it to be praised on a daily basis, you're in the wrong profession. And you shouldn't expect it. The joy should come from you being of service to young people. But even though we have so many challenges every day is different, as we know, there are some really good moments that we need to always try to cherish. So I found these quick little heartwarming stories that I would like to share with you and see if you can relate to any of these. This person writes, quote, I work with preschool-aged children, so I likely won't be the teacher they quoted in their senior year as their favorite. But I've always been satisfied knowing that I had a large impact because I'm teaching them skills they need for life. I didn't realize, however, that I would also impact their families. That is, until I was the one who needed help. I had gotten into a bad hit and run last winter, and the repairs to my car were going to be costly. I was also without a car for weeks. I don't even remember what I said to a parent. It was just a casual remark about having to stop by the auto body shop and how bad the damage was. A few days later, I was given an envelope with enough money to pay for all the repair, towing, and Ubers I have taken. 31 families had raised money for me. 14 didn't even have their student in my class. They were next door, but I'd gotten to know their kids anyway at recess. The card had a beautiful message about how much they appreciate all I do and how I've helped them through tough situations. So they wanted to repay the favor. To say that I cried is an understatement. My kids might not remember me in 20 years, but their parents hopefully will. I love that story. This is my personal comment now. Because you never know what impact you have on parents or on children. To this day, I will run into adults and they will say, "Hello, Mr. Bertelson." And I have to be honest with you, I don't know who they are. And sometimes they'll tell me, "I am the parent of this student, and I just wanted to let you know how much I appreciate you as a teacher." And it just warms my heart and makes me realize that, sure, there was frustration. Sure, there was stress. But, oh my gosh, was it worth it? Was it worth it? And I think sometimes parents get bad raps that they're only out to get the teacher and they want teachers to bend the rules for their children. I don't think that represents the majority of parents. I was lucky enough to teach in the school system for 39 years where parents were very supportive and they would back you up as to what your decision was with the child, behaviorally or academically. And that's greatly appreciated. So that's why I shared that story. I have two more for today. Quote, "When I was a first grade teacher, I had a student who was moving away in March. He'd made a lot of progress in all areas, particularly his selective autism. He was quiet, but was beginning to come out of his shell and was really coming into his own as a learner. I was disappointed I wouldn't get to be the teacher to take him across the finish line. On his last day, his mom wrote me the most heartfelt card. She told me they'd never dreamed he would speak so much and so clearly. She wrote that he constantly spoke of how much he loved school, his classmates, and me. She wrote that she and her husband had tried to delay their move, which is due to the husband's work, as long as they could to give him as much time as possible in my class. I still have the card, and I reread it from time to time when I need a reminder of how great the impact can be. Oh, my happy friends out there, how many times have I received a text or an email or a card or a slip of paper with something written on it to let me know that I am appreciated, and still happens to this day. When you least expect it, somebody on Facebook will reach out and say, "Hi, this is so-and-so. Remember me, Mr. Bertelson?" And then they'll go on to say something nice. Wow. Talk about filling your well. Oh, wow. And the last one for today. Quote, "I've been at my school now for 6 years, and while some days are harder than others, I love teaching and my students. My first students are now in 8th grade and ready to graduate this year. I've written letters to them before every single one of their state tests starting from the first year I had them. They told me this year that those notes are the things that gets them through every year of testing. I've also had students say to me that after graduation, the only teacher they'll still want to talk to is me because I'm cool and I get it. One of my favorite memories is when a student wrote to my principal begging me to teach her the next year when she got to third grade. What greater compliment could a teacher receive than that? And I've known of so many teachers who have written notes to students along the way. I have found a number of former students who are now friends of mine. And we moved from the teacher-student role to mutual friends. And I respect them. I enjoyed their company. And they're great people. And it's also exciting to see students who have been out of the classroom for a number of years. And you realize, wow, they're not like they were in high school. You got to remember, high school is just one phase. That's not the end-all, be-all, thank God. Are they the best years of your life? Not sure about that. I like to think there are many, many, many wonderful opportunities beyond high school, but high school hopefully is a pleasant place also, public school. And then when you meet them, you think, wow, they've really evolved as a person. So anyway, just 3 little stories about the importance of teaching. It doesn't deal with a mathematical equation. It doesn't deal with a scientific equation. It doesn't deal with filling out a sheet of adjectives and adverbs. Not that any of those things aren't important. I'm not saying that. But the relationships, the personal relationships that you establish with your students, if you take care of that, if you do that, then normally learning will take place. If the students in the room trust you and respect you, and you respect them and trust them, it's a win-win.
Don't you forget this.
And now for a special treat. Poetry with Mr. B.
Oh, you've got to have friends. Oh, yes, you do, folks. Now, I've shared over the duration of this podcast various poets and poems. Maybe you liked them, maybe you didn't. I respect whatever decision you have. But I thought it might be fun to share some brief selections of poetry dealing with friendship. And I guess the older I get, the more I appreciate friendship and having somebody that I can talk with, be myself with, somebody I can spend time with, and somebody who really gets who I am. Somebody who appreciates me. Somebody who doesn't put expectations on me. They just accept me for who I am. That's a friend. And it's not based on the number of friends you have, but the quality of friends that you have. So, to pay tribute to all the friends that you have in your life, and I hope that you will always show your appreciation to your friends. The first one is called The Special Friend. If there's someone you can talk to, someone no one can replace, if there's someone you can laugh with till the tears run down your face, if there's someone you can call on when you need a helping hand, if there's someone you can count on to advise and understand, if there's someone you think more of as each year comes to its end, you are a lucky person. or you found a special friend. I hope you all have a special friend. You know, a lot of people say, this person's my best friend. I don't really like using those terms. I don't like a hierarchy of friends. Friends are friends. There might be some friends I go to more for certain reasons than I do others. There might be certain friends I might be more honest with than I am with others. But that doesn't mean that I don't like them all. Here's another one I'd like to share. It's called A Beautiful Poem for a Beautiful Friend. You came into my life as an unwelcome face, not even knowing our friendship I would one day embrace. As I wander through my thoughts and memories of you, it brings many big smiles and laughter so true. I love the special bond that we beautifully share. I love the way you show you really care. Our friendship means the absolute world to me. I only hope this is something I can make you see. Thank you for opening your mind and your soul. I will do all I can to help heal your heart's little holes. Remember, your secrets are forever safe within me. I will keep them under the tightest lock and key. Always remember, if you're ever in need, I will try to be the best friend I can possibly be. Thank you for trusting me right from the start. You truly have got a wonderful heart. I'm now so happy I felt that embrace, for now I know the beauty of my best friend's face. Wow. Wow. A person you can trust with a secret you don't want anybody else to know. That's a true friend. And tell that person somehow through a note, a text, in person, how much you appreciate them as a friend. And the last tribute to a friend that I am going to share today is this. I just want to say thank you for being the most amazing friend I could ever ask for. Thank you for listening to my stories and random rants. Thank you for always being there for me when I needed someone to talk to. Nothing can express how lucky and grateful I am to have a friend like you. Remember, I'm always here if you need a shoulder to lay onto. I love you. I love all my friends. I love the way that my higher power has created them. I love the way that my higher power has brought them into my life. And I cherish them. So this is my small tribute to the beauty and wonder of friendship.
Let's have a seat round the proverbial table.
Would you like to say grace?
With a nod to our higher power and Mr. B's spiritual journey.
Spiritual friends, every day I tell myself that I have a disease, and that is compulsive eating. I'm not ashamed of it. I don't run from it. I actually welcome it because I have, through my higher power, learned to stop it from taking over my life and running my life. And now I let my higher power, whom I call God, run my life. But yet, sometimes, when I try to control, I get this sense of hopelessness. It creeps in, I have to admit. And the hopelessness comes from me trying to run the show and saying, oh my gosh, you mean I have to live this way the rest of my life? Abstaining from certain foods which I would love to put into my body, even though I know that they are poisonous to me and cause massive disorder and dysfunction in my life, I still want them. But I know through the whole idea of hopelessness that my higher power says, if you abstain from your, what I call alcoholic foods, the hopelessness will disappear according to my higher power's plan. Not my timeline, but my higher power's timeline. And that doesn't mean that you're not occasionally going to have moments, but they can pass. And it's not an invitation to eat a package of Oreos. Not at all. Let's listen to this reading that deals with hopelessness. When I first discovered I was a compulsive overeater, I was like the candle whose light is flickering and very close to going out. I was sick in mind, body, and spirit. I was hopeless. Now, many overeaters describe this disease as the last house on the block. I do not know if that is true, since I do not know where the block begins or ends. I do know that what I have found in visiting with others in this program can be found only in the heart and mind of another recovering compulsive overeater. The flickering light that I came in with became stronger, and the hopelessness turned into hopefulness. I can be a living example or a dying example of how this program works. My courage to recover and my experiences with this disease serve as an example to those who know me. I represent and carry the message of hope. I try to do that with my sponsees, with my children, with the people around me. If I carry the message of hope, that means that I am hopeful. And I want others to know that and to experience that. That is a beautiful thought. Here's another reading dealing with transforming hopelessness into hopefulness. In the silence of despair, my heart screams out for help. The weight of my sadness is too heavy to bear alone. Who can I turn to for help and understanding? Who will listen without judging me? Who will let me cry and not turn away from my tears? Who can I turn to when life seems unfair? For years, I asked myself those questions. The hopelessness I felt was beyond measure. After coming to grips with my disease, I found answers that I had searched for all my life. I learned that I can turn to a power greater than myself for help, a power I call God. That power is with me as I go for a walk, as I drive down a busy street, or as I sit quietly alone. A sponsor understands my hurt, fears, and struggles with food. In meetings, I listen to people share about how they have used the 12 steps to work through their program. When faced with new hurts, I remember that this pain had a beginning, and it will have an end. The pain can dissipate. Your higher power, if you believe, can take that pain away from you and leave you at peace peaceful, so you don't crave the alcoholic foods. Another tribute to the idea that hopelessness can become hopefulness. I was an unhappy compulsive overeater my entire life, always going on diets and then getting heavier afterwards. Tomorrow, I would say, I will lose weight. But tomorrow, I forgot yesterday's misery. My father and brother both died at age 57 of heart attacks, and I was convinced I would die at the age of 57 also. At age 48, I had a heart attack and bypass surgery to move blood past the arteries that my compulsive eating had blocked. I lost weight, but soon forgot the pain. I gained even more weight a year after the surgery. I thought my life was hopeless. Well, a friend told me about this program, and I started on a path that changed my life. This program has taught me how to change tomorrow one day at a time, to change my old habits, to remember the past. I gave up over 90 pounds, and the miracle is that I've kept them off for over 2 years. I just celebrated my 58th birthday. Today, I don't forget the past. I now focus on being abstinent and alive. And there's no place for hopelessness in that last statement. I now focus on being abstinent and alive. If you remain abstinent, the hopelessness will disappear. It will go away. Trust me on this, my happy friends in recovery. This will happen. Well, I still sometimes feel really sad and hopeless. Then you are trying to control your life. Give it over to your higher power and say, help me, for me, God. Help me to look for the good, to look for the positive, to be optimistic. Realize that everything in your world is good. Folks, hopelessness will lead you to depression. Depression can lead you to overeating or too much alcohol or gambling or drugs. You name it. The belief that your higher power wants you to be unconditionally happy, not that life doesn't have twists and turns, that's always going to be the case, but you can always rely on your higher power for help. As my good friend would always say, I ain't got time for this. I'm not making light of it. You don't need to have time for hopelessness. Okay, I've said it before, but I'll say it again. Well, there you have it. So there's got to be more. I never run out of things to say. You just have to decide if you'd like to be around to listen. I hope you will. Because I can go with you anywhere. I'm right there. Hello, neighbor. So until we meet again, I hope that you are very pleasantly satisfied with the entrees today we had at Mr. B's dinner party. Bye-bye.
Television dramas and comedic reviews, pet peeves buzzing like honeydew blues, poetry sprinkled like salt on a dish, every word served with a twist and a swish. Belly up to the table, my friend. The feast of thought will never end, from travels far to a spiritual climb. Morsels of musing served in rhyme.
Mr. B's Dinner Party is hosted by Scott Bertelson, edited and produced by Troy Thompson, recorded and distributed at Sunnyside Farm Studios, and platformed by Buzzsprout.
Conversations flowing like fine red wine. World journeys mapped with tales divine. He's hosting a dinner for your hungry mind, a banquet of life where you can unwind. Belly up to the table, my friend. The feast of thought will never end. From travels far to a spiritual climb, morsels of musings served in rhyme.
Subscribe so you never miss an episode, and share with your friends. Listen and enjoy every other Wednesday. Conversational morsels for the mind on Mr. B's Dinner Party.